LSU beat Arkansas yesterday. That's part of the news. The other part of the news is it was 13-10. It was an ice rink in Reynolds Razorback Stadium up there, and Arkansas kind of sort of played without KJ Jefferson, and they got me on that. I thought Jefferson was starting. They got me. Regression to the mean. Had a lot of you texting me and DMing me that last night. I had forgotten I said it on the show last week, but I said it when you were so confused about the point spread being 3, which moved to 3.5. That's when we bet Arkansas Friday night. Again, at Late Kick Josh, if you are not catching Friday night lines, you are losing money. We are winning every week. For some reason, the Friday night lines are hitting even better than the regular lines. We handed out Arkansas plus 3.5. We waited all week for the line to move, and it did, and we bet it, and we won. If you bet it earlier, you pushed. But anyway, when you were looking at the spread and it confused you because one of those teams had just beaten Bama and the other one had just lost to Liberty, it's progression and regression to the mean. That's all it is. This is how college football works. So a blind man who is, well, how does a blind man observe? You use your other senses, I guess. So a blind man who has observed this sport for a long time could have seen this coming. I think the noobs out there were a little shocked by this. It's okay. And stop recalibrating your expectation of LSU. This is the same team that a lot of people predicted to go 7-5. Don't get mad at them because they're, what's their record, Colin? 8 or 9-2, something like that. Don't get mad when their 8th win of the season, with 3 to go now, as it turns out, is only by 3 points. Don't do that. That is recalibration of expectation. It's not fair. What's fair is to say it's a miracle that you clinched the SEC West yesterday. How about that? Okay? Let's not forget that or overlook that. In the process of barely winning or winning an ugly game, yeah, they kind of sort of punched their ticket to Atlanta, didn't they? In Brian Kelly's first year, didn't they? More on that in a second. I'm going to hit you with a stat that proves padlock stats are meaningless when it comes to LSU right now. Meaningless. LSU has had 2 games this year where they failed to pass for 90 yards. 2 times in conference play, they have failed to top 90 yards passing. And they're 2-0 in those games. They've lost 2 of them. Those aren't even the 2 games they failed to top 90 yards passing. You want to explain to me how that's possible? Well, it's called at Auburn and at Arkansas with a backup quarterback. That's kind of how it turned out to be possible. That's crazy, though. Harold Perkins changed this game. He changed the Bama game. Stars matter. Don't let anyone tell you they don't. That is an alien. Number 40 is an alien who just happens to be eligible to play college football. We followed his recruitment. You remember it. You remember it well if you watch this program. I kept emphasizing 40 there. It was LSU and then A&M, and when Brian Kelly got on the job, he talked to a certain assistant down there and said, please do whatever it takes. Get 40, get Harold Perkins. And he got him. And they've probably won a minimum of 2 games, maybe 3, because of him. So don't worry, he's only here 2 more years minimum. That's just a true freshman. He was in high school last year. They got me, man. Arkansas got me with KJ Jefferson. I thought he was going to start. Now, he didn't, and they still ended up covering. I thought he was going to start, though, and he didn't. So Malik Hornsby started. I'm with Trey Biddy over at Hog Sports. He was doing his walk and talk yesterday. He looked like he was in Juneau, Alaska, by the way. So hats off or toboggans off to Biddy. And he said what I think a lot of people want to say about Hornsby. Like Malik Hornsby's all-in program guy. Malik Hornsby can run like a spooked deer. And thus far, he has insisted on playing quarterback. And some guys do that, and you say, oh, why don't they move to receiver? And it's just, they would be an average receiver. Malik Hornsby could make millions of dollars changing positions because of his unique skill set. Now, it's his decision ultimately, but man, if I'm not having a hard conversation with him after this year and saying, look, here is what NFL types say, here's what scouts say, here's what our coaching staff says, here's what you could be, here are examples in the pro level of what you could be, because he's not a quarterback anywhere past this level. And he got benched yesterday, so I don't know. But anyway, that's for another show. They sacked Jaden Daniels 7 times. Arkansas sacked him 7 times. This is what really is a gut punch for them. They played the game of the year defensively. I mean, Barry Odom and his defense have been under fire all year. They lost some guys early in the season, so they've been playing with one hand behind their back. They played the game of their year yesterday. You're holding LSU to 13. You think that's good enough 10 times out of 10, and as it turns out, it wasn't, because of the hand, or the hand that fate dealt you at your own quarterback position. But 10, oh man, there's so many numbers in front of me. I know it's a gut punch. I know that I don't think any less of them as a program now than I did last year. I know people are waffling on them, but this is not about Arkansas right now. It's about LSU. Brian Kelly's first year. They are going to Atlanta. I think it's worth just repeating that a few times. I don't have time to do it, but I encourage you to do it. You're going to play for the SEC championship. At worst, if Georgia beats you by 100, you went to Atlanta. Alabama didn't, because you beat them in your own building in year one. Saban had what, a 16-year, 15-year head start on you? Year one. Congratulations. Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure and leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.